Hey everybody, Leroy from NoiseGate here, and today's video we're going to check out how to use expansion packs with Ableton and Maschine. Expansion packs are really cool. They are genre-specific sounds, samples, and effects, loops, as well as presets for Massive, Monarch, and many other Native Instruments plugins. And they're really great for being able to establish an idea or some inspiration for your production, or even just searching for specific sounds for your track. There's plenty of genres to choose from. There's everything from hard Berlin techno to all forms of electronic music, even lo-fi hip hop, synthwave, and many other types. So there's certainly something for everyone to choose from, and they're really great to check out. So today I'm just going to get stuck into an Ableton live session, show you how it's really easy to browse and navigate through all of these sounds using Complete Control. And then I'm going to jump into Maschine Plus and show you how all the sounds are perfectly optimized to work within your projects there. All right, let's get stuck in. All right, so there's a couple of ways that you can find all of the sounds from your expansions within your digital audio workstation. In Ableton Live, it's pretty easy. There's a couple of ways. I can just click the add folder here and I can navigate to the root location on my desktop to find where all the sounds are. And you can see here, I've got quite a few of them loaded up. These are a number of different expansion packs I've got, and you can browse through all of the loops and audition them. So that's really cool. However, what it doesn't give you is it doesn't give you the presets for Massive, Monarch, and a number of other things. So the best way to really do it is to go and use the Complete Control software. So let's sort of check out how that works. So I've got a basic sort of like little groove going on here. Very basic 4-to-the-floor kick drum pattern with some other percussive elements rather. But you know, I kind of need to look for some other things to make this drum beat really groove. So I'm going to look for some open hats. So on this MIDI channel here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to my plugins folder that I have in my collections, and here I've got Complete Control. I use this quite a lot, so it's nice to have it located in your collections folder. I'm just going to drag that to this channel here, and this is what Complete Control looks like. So it's a really great way of navigating all of your sounds, samples, and effects that you have on your drive. If you're a Complete user, this is an absolute essential to use, particularly with the amount of sounds that you'll have. You can download the Complete Control software through native access after you install any product. It's all for free. So first of all, you've got these 3 tabs here. You've got instruments, loops, and one-shots. And so I'm going to go and look for a loop because I want to look for a hi-hat loop. And if I click this little drop-down menu here, it will show me all the loops that I have from all of the expansions that I have installed on my drive. I'm going to be using this new one here called Lunar Echoes. It's sort of an expansion pack designed to kind of like, you know, replicate a lot of the sounds that you would come to expect in, you know, underground Detroit techno and house music. It's very German, it's very Berlin, and it's really cool. So I want to look for some drums. And what you can see here is you can see it's all tag-based browsing, which means your workflow is sped up immensely. You know exactly what you're looking for. So drums, hi-hat, and then it's just going to categorize everything with the BPM and all that sort of stuff that you can use for this particular selection. So now all I can do is just sort of start browsing through them. And obviously what's really cool, well, it might not be obvious, but what's really cool is you can play your groove and the loop will play in time with your track. So this is obviously really good because it allows you to audition the sounds in the context of your tune. So you can really choose the one that you like the best. You have a little volume slider here for turning up the volume up and down. And what's really good is you have these little star icons on the side panel here, and you can just itemize or select different loops that you like, star it, and then when you come back next time, you can click that little star icon and it will just display all the ones that you've added that little star next to. So it's kind of like a little favorites icon. Like just another thing to speed up your workflow. So there's 2 things we can do here. I can just double click on any of these loops, and what it does is it will display the loop inside this audio window. And this audio window is really good because it means you can play these loops back via MIDI on your MIDI controller. So in this case, I'm just going to be using my keyboard because I haven't got a MIDI controller with me. And what's cool about this is you can, play back the loop relative to the pitch you play on your keyboard. All right, so all you would need to do then is just go into your clip and just dial in a MIDI region and then play it, and it will play that loop. There's another way you can do it though, and this is almost my preferred way. You can actually just get the loop from the browser window and drag it right into the window here, into Ableton session view, and it will just drag it out as a piece of audio. Which makes it really, really handy, which you can just grab the audio and bang it into your session. And I've actually already done this for a couple of open hi-hat in this drum group I have here. I've got this one, and I also have this one laid on top of one another. So as you can see, you're just browsing through your sounds and just looking for the sounds you like, and it's really easy to just quickly grab them in. They're all time stretched perfectly to the tempo of your track, and you don't have to worry about anything going out of time, which is super, super handy. So let's explore some other things. Let's go over to Instruments tab. All right, so let's see what we can do here. I might get rid of this and move over to this next channel and get another instance of Complete Control. And let's take a look at the Instruments tab. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna load up an instance of Monarch, one of my favorite synthesizers that Native Instruments make. It's a really great analog sounding mono synth. And if I click this little icon here, what this will do is it will display all the presets that come with all of the expansion packs that I have installed. So let's go to Lunar Echoes. This is the one I've been using. And now this shows you all of the presets. You can obviously categorize them here. So you've got bass, synth lead, synth misc, and classic. But there's not a huge amount for this particular expansion pack. However, let's just take a listen. So it's really nice just to be able to audition all those sounds before you load them. It makes that workflow so much faster. Let's load in this one. So double click and it will load that patch. So now it's just really easy to kind of go ahead and start adding in that sound with your controller. Let's see what else we can do. Up here, we can actually add in some effects that you have installed. So effects as in effects plugins. So you can create an actual effects chain directly in Complete Control, which is just another thing to really speed up your workflow. And it's also really good because it allows you to go through and easily find all the effects that you have installed rather than having to dig through Lab's browser. So if I click this little plus icon here, go to Native Instruments, I'm going to load up an instance of RAW, which is a really beautiful kind of atmospheric reverb plugin. I mean, that's just the first patch and it sounds pretty amazing. I'm just going to drop down the mix so it's not so loud. But if you do want to browse the presets for RAW, it's really easy. They're all displayed here on the side. I think I have one that I really like. Yeah, Cosmic Keys. That's pretty dope. Let's just draw that in. And let's add one more thing. Let's go ahead and open up this plugin called, where are you? Flare. It's kind of like a bit of a sort of chorus style modulation effect that really opens up the stereo width of the effect. And I have a preset here that I really like called Big Synth. All right. So now all you need to do is just kind of go ahead with your MIDI controller and record in your performance. I've actually already got one that's loaded in here. Let's just take a look at how it sounds with the groove. So it's obviously really simple in terms of its arrangement. I'm just going for a really deep underground vibe here. Cool, let's take a look at a couple other things. So I'll go back to Complete Control and let's have a look at loading some loops. So we already had a look at some, but let's have a look at some other loops that we've got from Lunar Echoes. So we'll go here, Lunar Echoes. Again, let's try out a different category. Let's go chord and take a listen. So texturally, they're quite complex and they sound really deep. With the actual naming of the chords here, you can actually tell what key they're written in by this letter at the beginning of them. So C, that signifies to me that this is in the key of C, and D, F. So they're just kind of like handy to know if you have already written some parts with other elements in a different key. You might just need to pitch that up or down relative to the key. Just double click on that. So again, it'll load it in an audio window. So what I might just do is get rid of some of these effects. And so when I play it, it'll play back the loop. It will also play back the loop relative to the pitch I play on my key. But it preserves the tempo, which is really important. So you can change the pitch, but it preserves the tempo relative to your track. You have a number of other parameters here to kind of dig through to change the behavior of the sample, but I'm pretty happy with how that exists as is. I've actually got this loaded on another clip inside this, so let's take a listen. And I've also got a pretty deep sub bass programmed on this channel here already using an instance of Monarch with Choral and this plugin called Byte, which is also from Native Instruments, and it's sort of like a subtle distortion plugin. So the last thing I want to talk about real quick is a little trick I like to use with one-shots. So over on this channel here, I have a drum rack with a bunch of sounds I've loaded from Complete Control, and these all came from an expansion pack. So I'm just going to go back to this instance of Complete Control, navigate to my one-shots category, and I can load up some sounds from an expansion pack. In this case, I think I used Infinite Escape, which is kind of like a deep melodic sort of techno expansion, and select sound effects. And these are all the sound effects that you get. These are really handy for just kind of like adding a little bit of extra groove and some textures to your track. And what's cool is you can just grab them and drag it over to your drum rack channel and just plop it onto one of those little cells. Plonk. So this is exactly what I did here. So it's just really easy to just drag them there. The benefit of that is I can have them in a drum rack and then easily program them inside the clip, which you can see I've done here. I'll just solo this. So that's pretty much it. I mean, just really handy having that access to all of your expansion packs via the Complete Control software, being able to browse, audition, and find all these sounds really quickly, loading them up and creating your track. So as you can see, there is a ton you can do with expansion packs and Complete Control inside your DAW. But let's hustle over to Maschine Plus and see how expansion packs are optimized to work here. So I have Maschine Plus here. I have a very empty project. There's no sounds at all. And generally how I work with Maschine is the first thing I like to do is to load a group of sounds, or a kit rather. So hit browse button, and you've got these buttons up here which will toggle between the different categories of sounds that you like. And generally I go straight to groups. So you can see here that I can navigate through all of the expansions that I have installed on Maschine Plus. These are all become available for installation after you register them through native access, as long as it's connected to Wi-Fi. So I'm going to navigate to this one here called Infinite Escape. It's a pretty deep sounding, like micro house kind of expansion. And let's load up a kit. So I want to load up a kit of sounds, which will fill an entire group of sounds with different types of sounds depending on what the kit sounds like. And as soon as I go over here, I can scroll through them and audition what they sound like. So this is really handy just to kind of give you an idea of what sort of sounds you're going to get in the kit and what you might be able to do with it. If you press Shift and hit this little star icon, what it will do is similar to how it was working in Complete Control. You can sort of favorite kits that you think that you might come back to time and again. So when you hit the star icon, it will just list all of the kits that you'll come back to and load. So I'm going to load up this kit. Nice. So as you can see, I have a whole group of sounds loaded. And not all of them are one shots. Some of them are actually VSTs as well. So in this instance, it's loaded an instance of Massive, which is this deep sort of bass sound. And some of the samples actually come preloaded with some effects from Maschine's effect library as well, which is really cool. Not only that, we also get some patterns as well. So these are some sort of like pre-made patterns that have been sort of made by the producers of the sample pack to kind of reflect the genre of the sound to really help you kickstart your track. So, you know, obviously you could kind of use one of those as a bit of a base template to start your track from. You could kind of go through, erase a few sounds and rearrange them yourself, or you could easily just create a blank pattern yourself and start with your own arrangements. So let's take a look at using some other sounds. Let's go and load an instance of, we'll go to instruments, and let's kind of do what we were doing before, load up a plugin. We'll load Monarch. Here is where we're able to get access to all of the presets that come with all of your expansion packs. So I'm going to navigate to Infinite Escape, the one I've been using. You could use any of the ones that you have installed, of course. And here I can browse through all the presets that I have available for that particular expansion. You can refine your search type by going here and searching for, say, bass, or any of the others that it comes with, and then hitting select to load your selection. The presets for the instruments don't come with any patterns because obviously you would expect that it wouldn't, so that you could kind of create your own arrangements. But from there, it's pretty easy to start programming in any of your own sounds. So there you have it, guys. There's a bunch of really good ways of how you can integrate expansion packs into your productions, whether you're using a digital audio workstation or Maschine. Really great ways of kickstarting your tunes, coming up with new ideas. Thanks for watching the video. Of course, if you have any questions, hit them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.